Hey guys, hi Alajide, how you doing? Can you guys hear me? Just let me know if you can hear me from the chat section. I'm a bit new to this thing and it can be very tricky. So let's be sure everything is on course before we kick off. Can you guys hear me? Can everyone hear me? I need a response. So we kick off. No. Okay. Let me see what was happening. Mm, Switch is a bit okay. Let's see what's up. How about now? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Oh, great. Nice. Is the sound okay? How's the sound? Let me know if I need to tune it a bit. Is it okay? Is it bad? Waiting for your feedback. Let's be sure everything is right in order before we kick off. How's the sound, guys? Mm, I I really want to believe the sound is clear enough now. It's okay. Okay, great. All right, all right. So we can't hear you. That's serious. Somebody's hearing me already. Olajide, are you sure you don't want to check your device? Is it your device? Somebody can hear me already. And in order to actually test this live stream, I'm actually using double PCs. I'm using a PC and a Mac actually. So I'm logged in with another account on my Mac so that I can see what the live stream looks like. And from my Mac, I can hear myself. So if I put on the sound from my Mac, so you guys should hear some echo now. Yeah, so I'm struggling to know why Olajide can't hear me. It looks like only Omo. Hmm. What do we do? Um, Omo, can you still hear sounds? Let me know if you still hear me so we can figure out what is wrong exactly. I don't. Are you sure it's not your device? I don't think so. Omo, can you still? My live stream is weird, man. But it's the first time. Yeah. So I'm sure going forward we'll get the hang of it. We'll get the hang of it much more better going forward. So I foresee the first one looking. I can hear you. Woo! So Kyla Josh can hear me. Um, I'm excited about that. Um, Someone just joined our Slack group, guys. So I need to hope the person join the stream immediately. So give me 1 minute. Last time, guys, if you can hear me, just give me an emoji. Kindly talk to Okay, if you can hear me, just give me an emoji. Let me be sure you can hear me. If you can hear me, give me an emoji so I proceed. Give me your best emoji. So we proceed for tonight, guys. We have a lot of things to do tonight. A lot. It's a lot on our plate. So if you can hear me, let me know that you can hear me. Okay. Okay. It looks like in there's a bit of lag with the. Oh, okay. Okay. Is there a lag in my voice and the video? I need feedback from you guys. I need feedback from you so I know I'm not on my own. Is there a lag between my voice and the video, or is it up to speed with each other? Is there a lag? Someone please tell me. Welcome, J Wise. It's okay at my end. Okay. All right. So we will proceed for tonight. Then welcome, J Wise. Um, you're welcome. Just set up your device and let's go ahead. So come again, please. Didn't get that. Oh, it's okay. Yeah, too. Okay, great, great, great. Olajide, please. I'm really concerned about your device as well. I need to be sure that it is also fine at your end. So you just let us know. And don't worry, guys. You're not disadvantaged at any point. This video is being recorded and it's going to be posted on my YouTube channel. So you can as well still get it on my YouTube channel if you didn't get some sections. So I'm not hearing anything, though. Or is it my network? I think it's your network. I think it's your network. Other guys can hear me. And don't worry, guys. I think the next live stream is going to be on YouTube. We will try YouTube and we'll compare and contrast. We'll know which platform works best for us. Um, hold on, guys. Let's just help J Wise. Can you hear me now? I want to begin at exactly 8, say 8:17. That's the next 2 minutes. At exactly 8:17, I want to begin. So I'll need everyone to can hear you now, sir. Great, 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 great. That's good to hear that. J Wise, I hope you can hear me as well. I hope you can hear me as well. Don't worry, have fun, guys. Just relax, yeah. It's not a serious thing per se. As our calendar said, we're just going to be talking about certain things, especially putting our mind in order as regards. Oh, great, great. That's nice, J Wise. J Wise. So we'll begin. Yeah. So we really are going to be putting our mind in order as regards what we are going to be embarking on. If you checked, if you have taken your time to check the documentation, for tonight. This section one speaks about introduction. It's just the introductory aspect, and the section two and the section three is where we are going to really delve delve deep into programming. So, a brief introduction. Um, I'm not sure I need too many introduction again. My name is Dami. Welcome back, Kyle. My name is Dami, and I'm a software engineer. I work at a company called Often Coft. Yeah, and I'm a software engineer. And the major reason why this whole thing started, I actually didn't see myself filming live anytime soon. I didn't see myself filming or going on live stream anytime soon. But the major reason why this started was out of a conversation between myself and a friend. Yeah, she told me how that she wanted to go into programming as a career. Please, can you share your screen? You should see my screen actually. We've not started programming actually. We're just talking. We're just talking for now. Don't worry, when we start programming proper, you will see my screen. We've not started. Yeah. So she told me how that she wanted to start programming, but she's been doing stuff on her own, but she would love to go to a code institute, and the expenses that was put together for her is quite on the high side. And it's not one, not two, and for me I feel there is something I can do about it. I mean, it's a problem. It's definitely a problem, and it is not to be spoken about, it is to be attended to. So that is exactly the reason why we are all here today. That is the exact reason why we are gathered today. It is born Our gathering is born out of the passion to help beginners. Mm, Shaibunene. Strange names here, man. Hello, Shaibunene. Welcome. Yeah, so our gathering tonight is born out of wanting to help a set of beginners, a set of programmers that are serious about their career, that are serious about software engineering as a whole. And this is what we aim to do. We aim to, myself alone for now though, I aim to, yeah, good evening. I aim to give you the best, the best of myself, the best of what you can get anywhere. And this is the reason why I asked that you be passionate, because I would not like to invest myself in obviously this is going to be stressful on my part. It's going to be stressful because I mean I have a day-to-day job, and you know how day-to-day job can be. Coupling those together with programming, live streaming, and helping people out there is a bit tasky. But I do not mind actually. I do not mind. And uh, if I would lay myself down to go through that extra rigor, then it means the people that this is for must also be serious, because it is your progress that now becomes a source of motivation for me to continue. Yeah, it is important that you understand this actually. It is very important. It is your progress that becomes a source of motivation for me to continue doing this every week. As a matter of fact, this is going to be twice a week. Yeah, this is going to be twice a week. So we're going to be streaming live twice a week. We are going to be having we're going to be having Q&A sections, and I'm going to be scheduling at about 2 hours or 3 hours of my time every day to attend to your questions and to attend to your programming questions now, to attend to your questions and help you solve your problems and help you solve your problems, help you talk through your problems. I mean, the whole thing we're trying to build here is a community whereby beginners have access to people that can help them in real time. Do you understand what I'm saying? We're trying to build a community whereby people that are trying to learn can have access to people that can teach them, that can help them solve their problem in real time. So this is why you must be very serious with it. It's not a joke at all. It's real and it's life. I mean real life now also. It's real and it's life. It's not a joke at all. Yeah. And that's that about that. So the next thing on our agenda is to briefly speak about the mindset of a developer. I've over the years I've seen beginners rise and fall when it comes to learning software development. I've seen beginners rise and fall, and we cannot stress these problems enough. We can't exhaust them. We are going to be talking about them while during the work, and we will be sharing some insights as to how to overcome them. Yeah. As for me, as a programmer, really, one problem that beginners face as a programmer is the inability to streamline their activities. Yeah. Because of the nature of what you're getting yourself into, you must you must understand that a chunk of your time it's just like learning any craft, yeah? If you're learning any new craft, it's the way it is. I mean, you have to give it your time. You have to give it your attention. You have to give it your time. It's the 80% 20% rule. You give 80% to the core things in your life, and you give 20% to the various things in your life. Yeah, every little things that surrounds you that really does not count, but you just want to do them for life to move on. Yeah, you give 20% to those, but you give 80% to the things that really matters to you. And one of them is your career. I mean, for me, one of them is programming, one of them is software development, because it really matters to me. It's my career. And for you that has decided to take up programming as a career, it is important for you to understand that a chunk of your time should be apportioned to programming, should be apportioned to to I mean when I don't want to go ahead of myself. When we go deep down, you would come to understand that when we say programming, really, programming is not just writing code. Yeah, there are a lot of things that you do in the heart of programming. There are, at the core of programming, there's a lot of things you do. Yeah, when you're trying to build a software, when you're trying to or put stuffs together, when you're trying to gather requirements, when you're stuck in one place or the other, you're trying to learn something new, there's a lot of things you do. Yeah, so it's not just writing the code. Yeah. You must be able to carry out research. You must be able to learn stuff on your own. Yeah, you must be able to learn stuff on your own, and you must be able to carry out research. Yeah, it is understandable that one reason that I've seen over time why people actually quit programming, especially for newbies that are just beginning. And if what I'm saying really makes sense to you, let me know if this are the things that you've actually experienced in time past and made you stop. I mean, stream through the chat channel and let me know that it actually makes sense to you. One reason that I've seen why programmers quit, especially beginners, is because they have a very little pain threshold. We have a very little pain threshold. So, and the normal human nature do not like to know that they don't know a thing. Yeah, we don't like to be in that vulnerable state whereby we feel stupid. Yeah. So normal human nature does not like to feel stupid. Yeah. So when you're trying to learn something and it's looking like you're never going to know this thing and you begin to feel stupid, you put it you put it on your notepad, you write the code in your code editor, you run it on your browser, it's giving you errors day and night, and I know, I mean, it begins to make you feel stupid, and when you get to a point you just give up. I mean, this thing is not for me, but that is not true. Go and ask everyone who are building large softwares today, who are handling large corporations today, who are senior software engineers, they also pass through this stage. I told one of my friend that it is a normal thing for you to feel vulnerable, for you to feel burdened at all time when you're learning programming. Yeah, because at the core of our job, yeah, our duty really is to solve problems. So we are always faced with problems. There is always something that would bother your mind. Do you get what I'm saying now? There is always something that would be bothering your mind. Even now, yeah, that we're talking, there is something bothering my mind as regards the application for my company. Yeah, some customers are complaining, some things are there is something bothering my mind. Do you get what I'm saying? I have a task that I'm supposed to do and it's not done yet, because I'm not able to figure it out yet. There is always a problem, and you have to be comfortable with that. Really, I know it's very difficult because many times when you have a problem, you want to you want to solve them immediately. Yeah. um, I really need to know if you guys are following me. Let me be sure I'm not speaking into the air. Are we following? It will be so painful if I've said all these things and no one can hear me. Oh, great, 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 great. All right, guys, great. So, great. Thanks, guys. Thanks, guys. So, it is normally when you have a problem, the next thing that comes to your head is how do I solve this problem? And most of the time, you don't want the problem to elapse a day because you want the next day to be fresh. Yeah, without problem, you just rise from your bed, stretch, and your mind is just free like a bird. I mean, yeah. But this is not the way we run when it comes to software development because of the nature of our job. At the core, what do we do? What we do is to provide solutions to problems by using automated systems. That's what we do. That's the core of our job. Yeah. So a man can walk up to me that is having issues with his payroll, and they've been using books to manage their payroll. It's a problem for them, and now is relating that problem to me, and he wants me to solve it. Yeah, and really that's why we are being paid. Actually, we are being paid to solve problems. And you know, the higher the problem you solve, the higher your worth and the higher your value. And I mean, you would not be surprised why software development is not arguably one of the most paying job in our world today. Yeah, it's one of the most highest ranking paying job in our world today. It's it's not because of magic. It's not genie. It's mainly because they are solving problems. So if you solve problems, you automatically increase in worth. You automatically increase in value. Look at the guys that are the most richest. most richest guys in the whole world today, Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, they are all solving problems. They are solving big problems actually. They are solving problems at a large scale. At a large scale. So the more problem you solve, the more your worth and the more your value. So that's why these guys can be that wealthy because they are solving problems. So I want you. I'm saying this because you are going to be faced with one problem or the other. I'm trying to prepare your mindset, and that's why I call this session a mindset of a developer. I'm trying to help you frame your mindset as to what to expect. They are going to a problem. It's okay for you to know that you don't know a thing. It's totally fine. You don't need to feel bad about it. You get what I'm saying? You don't need to feel bad about it. You don't need to feel perplexed about it. It's fine that you don't know a thing. You get, as long as you know that you're going to put in the efforts to know that thing eventually. Where the problem lies is when you don't put in the effort, you don't put in the research work, you don't put in the hard work that it takes to actually know that thing. That's where the problem lies. So as long as you're going to do that, it is okay, man. We get faced with problem day by day, all day long, all day long. That's why you hear some developers say that they've been working on a particular thing for like 2 days and they've not been able to figure it out. It's true actually and it's real. Yeah. But that is actually where the joy comes from. For me, that's where the joy comes from because no 2 day, no two work days are the same. None are the same. They come with their own variety of problems. They come with their own different problems. And I mean it's fine. That's what we are paid for. We are paid to solve problems. And trust me, man, there is this feeling that you get when you solve problems. I mean, when you are at a position whereby you're giving solution to people's problem, it is the best feeling in the world. It is the best feeling in the world. So that's that about that. You must have a very high pain threshold. Don't give up easily. Don't throw in the towel. It's not rocket science. Yeah, I know all of these times you've probably met some developers that have scared you about programming and told you how that you need to know mathematics, you need to know further maths, you need to you need to know all of these things. Well, it's not totally accurate actually. Yeah, you're on an advantageous side if you know these things. The major reason why they say this is because I mean knowing mathematics is like the art of solving problems. So knowing mathematics just means you will be able to think, you'll be able to, but you can actually develop your thought pattern, your problem solving, your thinking ability, your ability to solve problem. You can develop them without necessarily being a guru. As a matter, no, don't let us go there. Actually, I was going to review my mathematics grade to you while I was in school. Oh, don't let us go there, man. Yeah, so it's not it's not it's not it's not an absolute it's not an absolute requirement for you to be the god of further mathematics or to be the god of mathematics to be able to attempt programming at all. This is just common sense, like my boss at work would say. It's common sense. It's nothing but common sense. Just apply yourself to it and practice. Practice. As I've said, programming is like a craft. Yeah. And when you're learning a new craft, it is important that you practice. It is important that you do it over and over again. It is important that you build an atmosphere around yourself that submerges you into that avalanche of programming. Yeah. What does that mean? And that's a lot of English. What does that mean? It means your mobile device is filled with books, books that can help you as regards whatever you are currently learning. It means your YouTube channels are filled, your subscriptions are filled with developers, are filled with programmers that can help you in different aspects. What does that mean? It means you're connected with people that can frequently challenge your ability. Yeah, you're connected with them, you're in continuous conversation with them. So by doing this, you're surrounded yourself with that world of programming. So it is very difficult for you to, and that's why you hear people say that they started programming and after 2 weeks they came back to it and they didn't know they didn't know what they were writing again. It is very true. It is very true. It is not something that you do today and the next time you open your laptop, your PC is next week. You obviously forget. And this is why we're trying to be able to make sure that each week is filled with events. I don't know how that's going to work out, but I trust I'll figure it out. Each week is filled with events that can make you come back and access yourself. All right, we've said enough actually. As we go on, we would yeah, we would add any other stuff that is necessary for us to add. All right, so in 5 minutes, I just want to answer questions. So if you have a question rather, can you type it in the chat channel? If you have a question, let's do that for 5 minutes, and we go into what we have for today. Questions, 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 question. Any question? Any question, guys? And let me know if you want me to go on. Yeah, go ahead, please. Go ahead, ask your question. Go ahead, guys. Just what gadgets do we need to get? Okay, so that's a great question actually. Olajide is asking for the gadgets that you need to get. Um, well, what you really want to do is programming. I mean, so you obviously need a PC. You need a PC. You need a laptop. And I've heard people. This is also a myth, and that's why I really want you to. That's why I really want you to ask questions so that we can tackle certain lies that you've accumulated over the years and have stopped you from attaining to learning programming. I've heard people saying that you need to get high-end laptops to be able to start programming. That's not true, people. That's not true. That's not true. You don't need the best of laptops to start programming. I mean, I remember when I also started programming, I got I got an HP laptop which is still with me today till today actually. I got my HP laptop for about 25 to 30k, 25 to 30k. Oh yeah, that was the first one. That was the first one. It got damaged. Then the one I got next was about 60k. So yeah, with 60, 65k, oh, this far back though, but with 60, 65k, I was able to get a laptop, an HP laptop, a ProBook actually, ProBook 6460B, and it served me right. It helped me actually. So you don't need an high-end laptop. You don't need a Core i9. You just need something basic, something that you can afford. If you can afford a high-end laptop, fine. We're not disputing the fact that you're going to get quality out of it. But if you can't afford it, don't choke yourself with that thought of wanting to have a high-end laptop before you start. So all you need is a laptop and an internet connection. Basically, that's all you need. A laptop and an internet connection. That's all you need. Or whichever software we're going to be using. There's some software that we're going to be using down the line. I mean, we're going to be using GitHub. We're going to be learning about how Git works, but that's still down the line. I'm going to introduce you to all that when we are set for that. That's still down the line. And I think I see another question. Wale, please, what's the learning hour per day or per week? Okay, it's a great question actually. Well, the thing is, at the top of my head now, all I know is that I'm going to be working towards creating videos at least twice a week. At least twice a week, I'm going to be creating videos. So it could either be live stream or it could either be just a normal video. But I can assure you that it will be related to your learning activity. It will be related to your learning activity. So what I would do is I would um I will send you guys the link to my YouTube channel so you can subscribe. So once you subscribe, I just created a YouTube channel today actually. I just created a YouTube channel today. So I'll send you a link to the YouTube channel so you can subscribe to the channel so that each time I'm creating a video or I'm going live, you're going to be notified. You subscribe and you click on I think you have to click on the notification bell so that you can get notified each time I create the content. Yeah, so that's basically it. Twice twice a week we're going to have a learning activity, a programming activity actually. A programming activity. I foresee that twice a week being a live stream. Actually, I foresee it being a live stream because we're going to be hands on learning stuff. We're going to be hands on learning stuff. So, yeah, that's the YouTube channel, guys. So, that's the YouTube channel. So, click on it and subscribe to the YouTube channel and click on the bell icon as well so that each time I upload a video, you will be notified. And each time I'm going live, don't forget that we are testing around. We've tested Twitch now. The next live stream is going to be on YouTube. Just so to test it out and see what the performance looks like. So so yeah, click on the link and make sure you subscribe to the channel and make sure you click on the bell icon as well. Please, what track? Okay, Josh asked the question. He said, please, what track are we going to focus on? Is this a full stack thing? That's a great question. That's a great question. So I, I probably need to break certain things down before before I answer Josh's question because it's actually a very nice question. Are you guys with me? Are you still with me? I think it's just very important for me to always confirm. that you are with me before I continue. Okay, okay, you're me. Great, 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 great. So let me quickly speak about the types of developers that we have, or the branch, if you will, of software developments that we have. So you would usually hear about front end developers or front end engineers. You would also usually hear about back end engineers, and you would usually hear about full stack engineers. Now, because we are not delving deep, we're just this is like a Q&A section. We're not delving so deep, and that's why I'm not going to be relating certain things to you. But let's just let's just talk on a freestyle. So when you talk about the web, actually, what is the web? Yeah, how does the web work? I mean, because if you're going to be developing softwares that's going to be running on the web, you need to understand how the whole structure work. Do you get what I'm saying now? You need to understand how the whole structure work. Do you get? And the reason why I'm explaining all this is because of Josh's question. So I need to address, because I know some of you would not understand what full stack means. Some of you will, but I don't want to assume that everybody does. So I need to explain. So the major reason why the web came into play is because of people wanting to explore sending information from one place to another via the internet. You get what I'm saying? It is people wanting to. There are actually deep studies about these things, but I'm not going to be going deep. I'm just going to be taking it on the basic level. It's a basic it's a basic class. So I'm not going to be going deep. But if you really want to delve deep as regards this, you can go ahead to Google it. I'm not going to go deep. Yeah. So it is people wanting to send information from one place to another. It is people wanting to make other people have access to information. That is where the whole concept of web came into play. Yeah. And there is something called the architecture of the web. Now, when you look at the web can be splitted into two. On the basic notes, the web can be splitted into two. We have a part of the web called the clients, and we have a part of the web called the server. Now, I feel like doing a drawing, so um, let's go to let's do a bit of drawing, guys. I feel you understand it better with images, yeah. So let's do that. I hope you guys can see my browser screen. Can you guys see my browser screen? Oh yes. Yeah. Alright. The web. It is very important for you to understand this, guys. It is very important. These are the basic. These are the basic. And it doesn't matter what your level is. I also forgot to say this. It doesn't matter what your level is. You need to be calm enough to learn. It doesn't matter what your level is. You need to be calm enough to learn. Yeah. So don't assume that you know it. Don't assume that you know it. You need to be calm enough to learn. So I know this is very basic, which is intentional. This is the reason why we're here. It's a beginner's class. So I'm going to be going as basic as I can. So what we're trying to explain is the architecture of the web, how the web really works. Yeah. So we have something called the clients. So let's assume this is our clients. Um, let's get a text. Where should we pick a text here? And- Okay, found it. Text. So let's call this our clients. Don't worry, guys. I'm going to enlarge the text so you can see it properly. Um, so these guys are our clients. Yeah, going to make my screen big enough so you guys can see. And we also have another part called the server. And this server is seated somewhere. Yeah, seated somewhere. This part is our server. I'm trying to explain to you what the architecture of the web looks like. When we talk about the web, what does it really mean? What's going on? Do you get what I'm saying now? That's what I'm trying to explain. This is the server. Yeah. So every interaction that happens in the web is an interaction between a client and a server. I need you to understand that every interaction that happens in the web is an interaction between a client and a server. You see, when I believe strongly, and that's why we have different patterns of teaching. Yeah. The pattern by which I teach is the way I learn as well. I believe strongly in understanding how a thing works. If you don't understand the way a thing works, there's no point trying to learn that thing. Do you get what I'm saying? You need to know how it works. Your understanding about how it works is what gives you advantage. So when you come to the practicality, it is not difficult for you again because you understand how it works. Do you get what I'm saying? So understanding how a thing works is what gives you advantage over others. So people want to learn programming and they don't bother about how the web work. They don't bother about what is called client and server. They just go to their notepad and just start writing HTML. And in the next 2 weeks, you ask them, why are you writing HTML? They can't tell you anything. That's how we are. That's what they told us to do. We just want to build something. We just want to build websites. No, you must understand the theoretical aspects of these things. so that when you're writing them, when we ask you to build this, write HTML, write CSS, write JavaScript, you can be able to, in your head, you can, it's like a mind map, yeah? You can connect the dots as to the reason why we are doing what we are doing because you understand the theoretical aspects. And that's why, guys, we are going to be doing a lot of theory here. We're not just going to be writing code, yeah? Because I would make sure that I explain the theoretical aspects of what we're about to do so that you can understand it theoretically. When you understand it theoretically, when we're doing the practical aspect of it, it's not going to be so abstract to you again because you understand the theoretical aspect. So when we are doing it, when we are writing code, you are able to tell why we're writing what we're writing. Do you get what I'm saying now? And don't forget what we're trying to explain here. We're trying to explain how the web works, the architecture of the web. How does it work? What's happen when you go to Google and you enter your search parameters, you enter your search keyword, and you press enter? What happens? There is there is a communication. There is a communication at the background underwood that you do not know about. And that's what you need to know about. It is those details that you need to know about. It's not just writing code. Yeah, that's why there are a lot of quack developers out there. Yeah, they don't understand how this thing works. Yeah, so all they want to do is to get the code up and running, to get the code up and running. You get what I'm saying? So you need to understand the way this thing works because that's the key to invention. You can only invent on a thing when you understand how it works. You can only innovate on a thing when you understand how it works. If you don't understand how a technology works, you cannot invent on it. You cannot innovate. You'll be void of understanding. And when they are doing certain things, all you'll be doing is just to look or just to follow along. Yeah, just to follow along. So it is very important. Excuse me. It is very important that you understand how it works. So let's go ahead. So you want to see this as our web. So let's make this a bit leaner and a bit smaller. So let's have a bigger triangle. We should send this guy backward. Good. And move this guy in. Move this guy in. Good. So this is our web. The web. Big. So you can see it. So this is our web. Yeah. Now there is always an interaction, a communication between the client rather, and the server. Now, when you go to google.com and you enter a search keyword, what happens? Yeah? What happens when you go to google.com and you enter a search keyword? And note that there is a particular software that you are using to access that information that you want to get from Google. Now, that software that you are using that is visible to you to use to access information from wherever, that software is what we call the client. Now, this client can be your laptop, this client can be your mobile phone, This client can be whatever, can be any device. And note that there is a particular software that runs on that client that enables you to access that information. And that software is what we call your browser. Yeah? That software is what we call your browser. So that means your client is any visible device that is built to access information via your browser. I hope you get that. Yeah, that's what your client is. So that's why if I take my iPhone and I go to Safari, if I take my iPhone and go to open Safari, yeah, I can access anything here. I can go to google.com or facebook.com and access. This mobile phone is a client. This mobile phone is a client. And on this client, I'm running a software called Safari that is able to allow me access. Now, what is that thing that we are gaining access to? The thing we are gaining access to is what we call the server. I hope you guys are following. Let me know if you guys are following from the chat. I need to constantly know that you're following. Are you guys following? We following? Are we following, guys? We have very few minutes to go to the end of this. We're not going to make it so long. We're not going to make it so long. In less than 40 minutes, we should be done. Great. Okay. We're following. Okay. Great. 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 So the server is that entity somewhere, yeah, somewhere in the web, yeah, that contains the information that we need to access. But the client is that entity that we use to access that information. It's that simple. It's that simple. So we can say from our clients, when you go to google.com, let's say from our clients here, you're going to google.com from our clients and you come here and type, let's use Facebook, let's use Google actually, google.com. When you type google.com, yeah, uh, let's drag it here. Yeah. Now, what your client does is your client comes and says, hello, Mr. Server. Yeah, this is your client. This is our client. Uh, it says, hello, Mr. Server. I need information. Now, that information that is needed from the client is embedded in what we call a request. I hope you guys are taking note of this, of all these things I'm saying. The information that is requested, that is required of the clients. Now you go to google.com and say what is a boy or what is whatever. Yeah, that information you're requesting for is embedded in what we call, because the client has to put that information together. Yeah, It has to bundle that information together and send it, pass it to the server in a way that the server can understand what the client is trying to ask for. Yeah. So that bundle that the client sends to the server is what we call the request. So the client makes a request. Yeah. Now, when the server gets the client's request, it says, "Oh, I know what you want. You want to know what a boy is." Yeah. The server does whatever it needs to do, which I'm not going to be bothering you with details for now. For now, there are still a lot of things that the server does, like talking to the database, and if it's a very complex system, is no, we don't want to go there. Yeah. But for now, the server does what it needs to do and responds to the client. It does what it needs to do and respond to the client. So when the server interprets what the client wants and eventually figure out the information that the client is asking for, it also bundles that information. Yeah, it bundles that information, and that bundle that is sent from the server to the client is what we call response. And that's why you would usually hear the terminology request response. If you've stayed with developers, you would usually hear that terminology. It is just a web terminology, and that's why it is important for you to understand this theoretical aspect. So if we start writing, for example, if you start writing Node.js or any backend technology, and you're saying response equals to a request equals to, I mean, you you might not know what they're doing, but now you can tell what a request is. A request is that object that bags the information of what the client is requesting for or is asking to get from the server, and the response is the information that the server has put together to deliver to the clients. That's what we call response. So we changed this here to be called response, and it sends it back to the client. And that's why when you actually go to google.com and you say, "What is a boy?" Yeah. Now, all of this information that you're seeing here right now, yeah, all of this information that you're seeing right now is the information that was sent from the server. Are you guys getting what I'm saying? It's the information that was sent from the server. All of this information was packaged, packed together, and sent from the server down to this client. Now, this is my own client. This is my client. My client is my PC, and the software by which I'm using to access my server is my browser. Do you get what I'm saying now? So that is what client and server is all about. To recap everything I've said, your client is that entity, that physical entity that is usually with you as an human. Not going too deep. Human beings are not the only one that uses the client. For example, if you're using a smartwatch, or you're using a smart fridge and all of those things, yeah, all of those all of those technology also accesses information from the web, hence they are also called a client. But just to take away every form of complication, we will narrow it down to humans. Yeah. So that particular entity that you can see, that is with you, that you see as a human, is what we call the client, while the server is that entity that gives you the information that is needed. You get what I'm saying? Now, when we now talk about front-end developers, front-end engineers, what are we talking about? When somebody says I'm a front-end engineer, what are they talking about? Now, most of the time you can see that when you go to your browsers, yeah, you see web pages developed. Yeah, you see a lot of things on web page develop when you go to your browsers. Now, all of the things that you see on your browser is developed or designed by the front end engineers. So, a front end engineer is that developer that is responsible for building the user interface that you can have access to or interact with as a client, as a consumer. Do you understand what I'm saying now? That's what we call front end engineers. So that's why front end engineers would always work on the web. Yeah, they would always work on their browsers. You will see them working on their browsers, checking their browsers to see if this fits, if that does not fit. They would always work on their browsers. Now, when we talk about back end engineers are those developers that are responsible for building the systems that are embedded in your servers. They are the one responsible for building your servers. They are the one responsible for writing softwares that runs on the server. That's why most of the time you usually would not see what a backend engineer does because you would not interface with it directly as an human. You would usually interface with what a front end engineer does. In fact, it's actually a thing of joke in my place of work because I'm actually a back-end engineer at my place of work. So most of the time, people ask me, "What do you do?" We don't see your work. Yeah. So the only person they see his work is our front-end engineer. That's the guy that does the mobile development. Yeah. But me, they don't see my work. Meanwhile, the software I've written on the server is what the mobile the mobile device as a client is talking to get information from this piece of diagram that we have drawn. Yeah, I told you this client can be a PC. So let's write it here. This client can be a PC. This client can be a mobile phone. Can be a mobile device. This client can be your smart TV. Can be anything as long as it can interface with the web. Yeah. So the software that is built on a mobile phone interfaces with what I've written on the server just to fetch information. So that's what it is. That's what it is. The front end engineer is the person that builds software on the browser that can be seen by humans, that you can go to the browser to access. Yeah. The reason why I'm using human is because we are just on the basic level, as I've explained to you. You are not the only entity. Actually, we aren't even supposed to be using human, but just to help you understand, being beginners, we are not the only entity that interface with the server. Do you get what I'm saying now? Yeah. So that's the job of a front end engineer. While the job of the back end engineer is the person that writes softwares that runs in this particular place. So what this software does is this software is able to take the request of the client, interpret what the request is, and respond with equivalent response. That's so that software that does that job is is what the backend engineers work on a day to day. Yeah. So now when we talk about a full stack engineer or a full stack developer really is a developer who has knowledge about how to work on the front end and also how to work on the back end. That's what a full stack engineer is. So that person develop develop softwares on the front end and can also develop softwares on the server, which is on the back end. That's what we call a full stack engineer. So guys, I want to know if you understood everything I've said so far. Do you understand? Let me know if you understand everything I've said so far. Do you understand? Do you now understand who a full stack developer is and who a backend developer is and a who a front end developer is? Because you need to know all these things. Once you all confirm understanding, then I'll now go back to Carl's question and we'll answer Carl's question. Then we know where to go from there. Man, it's over 1 hour 30 minutes now. I hope you guys are hearing me. Can you guys? To be so sad if you can't hear me. So I've said a lot. Yes, okay. So do you get my question? So I need to know if you got my question. Did you get my question? Thank God for chat, man. Mm, I need to know if you got my question. I need to know if you understood what a front end engineer does. And I need to know if you understand what the back end engineer does. And also what a full stack developer is. Full stack engineer. I need to know if you understand. Then we can proceed. Can just go to conclusion. Do we? Hmm. The silence in the house. Yes, I understand from your explanation. Oh, a front end. Oh, you meant front end actually. Back end and a full stack engineers. Great. Thank you, Omo. Thank you. Thank you. That's good to hear. So front end I meant to say, yeah, yeah. That's good to hear. So to go back to Carl's question, it's a great question actually. It's a great question. So he said, please, what track are we going to focus on? Is this a full stack journey? So you now understand what he meant by full stack journey. So what Kyle is trying to say is, are we going to be working on the front end and also working on the back end at some point? So before I answer this question, there is there is something I really want you to know as regards how the structure of what I'm trying to do here is going to go. You see, the beautiful thing about programming is once you understand how a particular when once you understand how programming when I talk about programming now, I'm not language specific. The problem we also have, let me say, you as developers, beginners, actually, the problem you have is most of the time you're always conscious about the language. Programming really is not dependent on the language. You need to understand that. Yeah, the different languages that we have are just they are they are tools of expression. Do you get what I'm saying? Programming in its in its in its sense is a tool for solving problems. Now, the languages is the way you express your solution. That is really what it is. That's the word. That is the word. The different language, you have Python, you have JavaScript, you have C Sharp, you have Java, you have Swift, you have enormous number of them. You have a lot of them, and many times they can be overwhelming. I mean, you might not even be able to say which one you should learn, which one you should be on, which one you should stay on. Should you fly from here to here? And it's and I know that can really cause confusion for you at some point. But you need to get my point. Once you understand this and make it sink, and I need you to trust me. I need you to trust me. Trust everything I'm going to be saying. I mean, you've already trusted enough by joining the channel, the community. So you need to trust me going forward and believe everything I'm saying. You could find out for yourself, but you need to believe it. The language is not the key thing that you should be focused on as a beginner. Don't be focused on language as a beginner. That's why we can use any language. Do you understand what I'm saying? Your focus as a beginner should not be what language to write. Your focus as a beginner is understanding the concepts of programming. And it's very important for you to know this. Actually, it is very important. I can't stress this enough. That's why you see many beginners, they just jump and just start going, they just start writing JavaScript. They just start writing JavaScript. And when it comes to object-oriented programming, they don't know what it is. When they talk about arrays, they don't know what it is. When it comes to because they just jump to just start writing JavaScript. Do you understand what I'm saying? So we can pick whatever language you are picking is only helping us express the concepts, the programming concepts that we have learned. Do you understand what I'm saying? So the language for now, while I was scrolling through our Slack channel, while I was scrolling through the introduction channel, I saw some of us introducing ourselves as a Python Django web developer, which is beautiful. It's beautiful. But I actually prepared this that I'm saying for you. Actually, I prepared it for you, not just for you alone, but for everyone who already have one programming language or the other that they're writing. Don't be stuck in that atmosphere of the language. The language is not the end. The language is only a means of expressing or achieving the end. The end is solving a problem. I can't emphasize this enough. The end is solving a problem. Do you get what I'm saying now? The end is solving a problem. Yeah. So we can pick any programming language that would help us and learn that programming language with the aim of solving a problem. And this is the beautiful part of it. If you understand all of these programming concepts with a particular programming language, I bet you can write any programming language at all. Any programming language at all. All you just need to do is just to pick up its documentation and just see how it works. It's just different language just come with different syntax. Array in JavaScript is the same concept as array in Python. Array in Python is the same concept as array in C sharp. It doesn't change. It doesn't change. It is only the syntax that change. So if I'm a JavaScript developer today and I'm faced with a problem and I have to write it in Python, I'm not perplexed because I understand what programming is. I understand the concept of programming. So all I just need to know is how Python does its own. So how does Python represent an array? How does Python initialize a variable? How does Python initialize an object? Do you understand? But those concepts, those programming concepts, is what we are going to be looking at. We're going to be looking at arrays, we're going to be looking at objects, we're going to be looking at object oriented programming, we're going to be looking at classes, we're going to be looking at different things. Do you understand what I'm saying? So, this journey is actually intended to make you a full stack engineer, actually. Yes, it is intended to make you a full stack engineer. And what that means is we are going to be starting from the client. And when we talk about the clients, we are going to be starting from the front end. So we're going to be looking at markup language like HTML. You know, the basic language, the basic markup language for the web is your HTML, your CSS, and JavaScript. Yeah, there's a portion of JavaScript that you need to know for front end, and there is that which you need to know on the back end. We'll get to that later. So our main focus for say the next 1 month or so or 2 months is HTML, JavaScript, HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. And I beg you guys, I beg you, don't assume that you know it. I can, I can, I can, I can, I can tell you over and over again that you don't understand it, you don't know it. Don't assume that you know it. And even if you know it, even if you think you know it, you can still learn a lot. I mean, we keep learning day by day, we keep learning. You can still learn a lot. So don't assume that you know it. Make sure you follow through, follow through. And the way I'm going to be working on this class structure is such that everything we've done today now is going to be a build up. So the next thing we're going to do is going to be a build up of the foundation that I've laid today. I've talked about the web, I've talked about the architecture of the web, I've discussed about the client side of the web, I've discussed about the server side of the web, I've discussed about their interactions, I've discussed about the tools that I use on the both side. I've discussed about the different software engineers that we have. So all of these things that I've said is going to be a build up. So whatever we're doing next is going to run on the foundation of what we've done today. So it is important, and that's why I'm going to make sure I look for there's only actually it's actually going to be Friday and Saturdays. I was thinking there was going to be a bit of variableness in the days of our live stream, but we need to point it on calendar. So at the back of your mind, you know that on Friday you have a session, and on Saturday you also have a session. So it's going to be Friday and Saturday, by the grace of God. Yeah, it's going to be Friday and Saturday. So we're going to continually delve deep into this thing. So it's a full stack journey, guys. I'm sure you're excited about that. It's a full stack journey. So and even if the truth is, at the end of the day, not everyone is going to become a full stack developer. That's the truth. That's the truth. At the end of the reason why we're going to submerge ourselves into that experience first. We're going to submerge ourselves into that experience. When you've tried it, it is then you can now decide on what part you want to specialize in. Do you get what I'm saying? It is then you can now talk about the part you want to specialize in. But you can't tell me you want to be a front end engineer when you've not even tried back end. You get what I'm saying? You've not written any back end service before. You just say you want to become a front end engineer. Yeah, you should try it. You should try it. I mean, that's the elixir in development. Trying new stuff and building very cool and nice stuff. Yeah. So when we've done that, you can now say, okay, I think I'm much more comfortable on the front end. Hence, I'm going to specialize on front end. And you can also say, okay, I think well, color mixing is not for me. I think I'm going to specialize on the back end. Or you say, oh, I think I'm actually cool with both. I'm going to continue with both. So it is then you can now make that decision. But we are going to delve deep into the two. And if you notice what our our schedule, we've actually not even scratched. We've not scratched what we ought to do today. Actually, we've not scratched it. Let me show you what we're supposed to do today, and we've not scratched it at all. Where's my Notion? So start off. We're supposed to start off. We're supposed to start off with. We're supposed to start off with HTML, and we're supposed to start off with CSS and talk about all those. But we've not even scratched it today. I want to open my calendar so you can have an idea of what we're looking to. So we need time, guys. We need time. Most of the time, our stream is going to last for at least 2 hours because I mean it's in the live stream that we only have time to do stuff. So we need time. That's why you have to try to make it as early as possible. Yeah. So tonight we're supposed to talk about we've done this. We're supposed to introduce HTML and we're supposed to introduce CSS. Well, I don't know, man. I can still go for 20 minutes. It depends on you guys. I don't want to overload you with information, so we can as well just call it a day. What do you guys feel? What do you guys feel? Do you want us to introduce HTML or we call it a day? We conclude and call it a day. Can you guys hear me? Question. I actually don't want to overload you with information. Yeah, I want us to take it little by little, little by little, little by little. Someone wants me to introduce HTML. Mm, I'm okay with you going on. Oh, okay, okay. Guys want me to go on. Okay, so we can. Although we're just going to be scratching HTML, we're going to be scratching it. We're not going to be going deep. That's all. We're just going to be scratching HTML. So I'm going to, and guys, this is what we're going to be building. This is what we're going to be building. Let me show you what we're going to be building. You guys must have seen it, but if you've not, I'll show you what we're going to be building. This is what we're going to be working on. Yeah. So at the end of this session, that's at the end of this practical session, we are going to have built this. So every week we are going to be building a project. So you are going to be working on things, and the aim of this whole building project is just to get you comfortable with building projects, and it's also to get you, is also to help you start building your portfolio. Companies today really do not care about many things that you feel they care about. Yeah. As long as your portfolio is what speaks for you as a developer. Yeah, your portfolio is what speaks for you as a developer. So if we are able to build a project every week, that would be amazing. That would be beautiful. Yeah, that would be beautiful. And we're not just going to be building any projects, dummy to-do list projects. No, we're going to be taking very beautiful projects, presentable projects, and projects that you can add to your portfolio. Yeah. So you can stack up your portfolio, and you can send it for internships, you can send it for, so that's really what we're trying to do here, guys. We're trying to, at the end of the day, yeah, we're trying to help you build a career, start off with a career in tech. That's what we're trying to do. So every decision we're going to be making would be subject around this particular aim. Yeah. Okay, so let's introduce HTML. Introduce HTML, guys. Now, notice that I said that your web is made up of pages. Yeah, your web is made up of pages. Is made up of pages. Is made up of files. Now, these pages is what you can call your HTML files. Yeah. So your browser understands HTML file. And the full meaning of HTML is hypertext markup language. Hypertext markup language. That is the language that your browser, that is the markup language that your browser understand. Yeah. So the essence of HTML really is to help you present information on your web browser. That's the essence of HTML. At the basic level is to help you present information. And as we go on, you will see that all of these tools have their own functionality. For example, having presented your information on the web browser, the function of CSS, which is called cascading style sheet, the function of CSS is to help you style. CSS is really concerned about the aesthetic aspects of the web, of your page. So with CSS, you can style your header, you can add colors to your page, you can do a lot of things with CSS. It's concerned with styling. So you must understand this. HTML is concerned with what? Presentation. It's concerned with the presentation aspect. And that's why you present your information with HTML. Your image, your links, your table, your header, and all this stuff. you present them with HTML. Now, having presented them with HTML, CSS comes into play to help you style them, to help you make them look good. Do you understand what I'm saying now? So each and every one of them has their own functionality. Each and every one of them has their own duty. And HTML is what we are starting with. Yeah. So in your mind, we know we are looking at how to present information on the web. That's basically what we're looking at. Because it is the duty of HTML to present information on the web. So what we are looking at is how do we present information on the web? That's what we're looking at. Now, I told you that your web really, your web project or whatever it is a folder actually. Every every website you see today on the web is a folder that contains different pages. Now, those pages are what we call the web page. Those are your web pages. Those are your HTML web pages. Now, for example, Facebook is a folder that sits on a particular server somewhere. And inside that folder called Facebook, you have different pages. You have the home page, you have your profile page, you have, and so on and so forth. And that's what we are trying to do here also. So I've gone ahead to open a folder actually, and that folder is called Productify. Yeah. Don't bother about trying to code along with me. Yeah. When we get to the practical session, that is when you need to code along. But now all you need to do is to watch and listen. Can you guys see my code editor actually? Can you see my code editor? I need to know if you can see my code editor. You guys see my code editor? Yes. Okay. Great. Yes. Okay. That's great. Let's continue then. So I've gone ahead to open a folder. Now this folder is the project we are trying to build. That's the project we're trying to build. And this project is going to sit in the web so that at the end of the day, we can go to the web and browse out this project. Now, this project is going to have its first page. It's going to have its first page. And I've told you that your pages that are embedded in that folder, in that project folder, are your HTML page. And I already told you what HTML stands for: hypertext markup language. So I can come here and you will notice that I created a file. That's what I created because HTML is actually a file also. It's just that it has a particular file extension, and that file extension is .html. By the way, I'm using a code editor called VS Code. It's called VS Code. When we start the practical session, then that is when we'll start talking about the integrals of the tools that you need to program. I'll show you how to download this particular code editor. I'll show you how to do everything. Don't worry. Just chill. All I need you to do now is to listen and watch. Because all we are doing is just introducing HTML for the next 15 minutes and we'll call it a day. So let's say I'm calling this page my home. Don't forget, every file has an extension. The same way your document file has an extension, that's your docs file, your Word file. It has .docx. It has that extension. Your PowerPoint file has its extension. It has .pptx. It has an extension. Do you understand what I'm saying now? Yeah. So every file has its own extension. So same as HTML file also, it has its own extension. So we have to add this extension, which is .html. Enter. And VS Code creates. an empty page for me where I can write my HTML. Now, there is something called the DOM, and I'm not going to bother you guys actually about what the DOM is. I feel if I go into that tonight, we might not we might not leave here in the next 1 hour. So I'm not just going to bother you guys, but I'm going to give you an assignment. Your assignment has started actually. Your assignment has started. Your first stage of assignment has started. I'm going to give you an assignment, and you're going to do a research on what is called the DOM. The DOM, the full meaning of DOM is Document Object Model. Document Object Model, the DOM. And in our next stream, I'm going to check out your assignments and also explain what the DOM really is, because you need to understand what DOM is. Your understanding of DOM would help you understand HTML much more better. You get what I'm saying? So, to move forward, HTML is actually hierarchical in nature. Yeah? HTML is hierarchical in nature, and HTML is made up of various tags. TAGS, tags, is made up of various tags. We have different type of tags. We have different various type of tags. We have the paragraph tag, we have the header tag, we have the image tag, we have the link tag. And note something, guys, because I like when you understand the core of how a thing really works. Now, if you've ever used Word documents before, do you know the same way you can easily go on your Microsoft Word and bolden a text? The same way you can increase the font of a text, the same way you can add an image on a document. It is that exact thing that we want to do here. But in our case, we are using HTML tag to achieve that same thing that you are using your Microsoft Word to achieve. And now, the way we preview what we have written in HTML is by loading up that page on our browser. Don't forget that I said that your HTML file can be understood by your browser, because your browser is a client that understands HTML file. So when we want to see the result of what we are building, we simply check the browser. So now I was talking about tags. Now, guys, we have different types, two major type of tags in HTML. We have two major type of tags in HTML. Don't forget where I started from. Yeah, we started from the web, then we broke the web into two. We broke the web into the client aspect, and we also separated the client aspect from the server aspect. So we saw that the web in its whole formation is separated into two. We have the client and we have the server. Yeah, and we explain how that they interact with each other in order to give you the functionality that you use every day on the web. Don't forget that. That's where we started from. Yeah. Then we now proceeded to explain these individual entities. We said the client is the visible part of the web. The client is the part that users interact with on the web, while the server is the entity that contains the information that is being presented on the client. Now, we now moved to the client. We now started looking at the tools that is used to build what we have on the client. Yeah. So we now started looking at HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. HTML, CSS, and JavaScript are the fundamental tools that is used to build what we have on clients. What does that mean? It means any web page at all, anything at all that you see on the web was built with HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. At the core, was built with HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Does that mean they only used HTML and CSS and JavaScript to build it? No, no. There is something called frameworks, but I don't want to go into that now. Yeah, but at the core, even every front end framework, at the core, they are made up of these three pillars: HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. And that is why we are now looking at HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. And now don't forget, we now explained these three guys. We said HTML is used for presentation. HTML is that guide that we use to present information on the web page. We said CSS is that entity that we use to style our information that has been presented with HTML. And JavaScript is what we use to give interactivity to our web page. We introduce dynamic content with JavaScript. Do you understand? Now we now boiled down to looking at HTML. That you see the way we're going. That's the way we're going to be going in hierarchy and in order. Now we now said HTML is a markup language and it is used for presentation. And we said HTML is made up of different tags, wide number of tags. And now we now said there are two major type of tags in HTML, and that's where we are now. We're going to. I don't want this stream to go past 2 hours. We're already at 1 hour 56 minutes. That's a lot, guys. That's a lot. That's beautiful. I mean, I didn't know we could go this far. But that's beautiful. That's beautiful. So I'm just going to tell you the two type of tags that we have, and I'll also put down the assignments that you have for this week, and we'll take a conclusive question. So we have what we call the opening and closing tags, and we have what we call the self closing tags. We have what we call the opening and closing tags, and we have what we call the self closing tags. And most of the times, when you see this type of tags, yeah, the opening and closing tag, they are always like this. They would have, for example, let's take an example. Let's take the P tag, for example. The P tag is the paragraph tag. That means when you want to write a paragraph on your web page, the way you make that work is by using the P tag in your HTML file. So the P tag is an example of an opening and closing tag. Now, the reason actually this opening and closing tag, this type is not it's not a widely acceptable thing. Not acceptable, acceptable is not a word. It's not a widely used thing. But I'm using it so that you can actually get the idea and understand how the whole thing works. Once you get it, that's all. Now, the reason why we call it an opening and closing tag is because if you notice this tag, yeah, you notice that it has two different versions of itself. It has an opening version of itself and it has a closing version of itself. Now, what makes this part the closing version? You can see that it is because of this particular slash. Now, this particular slash is what makes it the opening version. So this part makes it the opening version and this part makes it the closing version. And this is why we call this type of tags an opening and closing tag. Now we have another type, the self-closing tags. Now the self-closing tags do not have these two versions. They have just a single version. So they open and they self-close in just a particular version. An example of that kind of tag is your image tag. Image tag. Your image tag is what you use to introduce or import pictures to your web page. Yeah. So you can see the difference. You can already see the difference between these two tags. So this has the opening version and the closing version. Why these have just one version of it. So it opens itself and it closes itself. These are the two. So every tag you come across in HTML can be categorized under these two category. In fact, we could actually give it a title and say types of tags in HTML. Every tag at all can be categorized under these two tags. Yeah, I feel we should round off now so we can take few questions and also conclude for today's stream. Yeah. So is there any question? We're already past 2 hours already, guys. Nice, nice. That's great. You guys are now proving to me that you really are in for this, and this makes me very happy, and it shows to me that you're actually serious about what you intend to do. Nice, guys. Nice, nice. So do we have any question at all? Do you have any question before I take the conclusive notes? Any question, guys? Any question, guys? So we can call it a day. None. Okay. Okay. None. So I want to assume none of us have any question. I want to assume, but if you do have a question, please leave a message on the chat section. Yeah. So thank you very much, guys, for joining in for this stream. Um, it is beautiful to have you all. None. Oh, okay, great. It is beautiful to have you all join up for this stream. So this is really the core of what we're trying to establish. What we're trying to establish is to what Zion Code Farm really is about is to help beginners, is to help developers that are starting out in their career to really understand what it is to be a developer, to really understand how software engineering, how the craft called software engineering really works. And that is what we aim to do. And I'm going to do my best to make sure that you all get to that point where your software engineering career is at is brought to limelight. Yeah, sorry guys, I'm stammering already. I'm tired. Yeah. Okay, guys, I'm going to be ending the stream now. And if you have not been added to the various channel that we have, if you've not been added to the various channels on Slack, please make sure that you signify, because I'm going to be dropping the first task, the first assignments on that channel, and it is important. Next session is going to have deadlines. It is important that you answer, that you attempt those questions. It is important that you attempt those questions. So if you've not been added to the various private channel, make sure there's a channel called tax board. So if you've not been added to that channel, make sure you signify. And if you've not joined the Slack channel, make sure you can drop a comment on YouTube or you DM me on Twitter. I will give a response on Twitter. You can DM me on Twitter. I will give you the link to the Slack channel. The Slack is where we follow up with one another and communicate. And make sure to also look out for the calendar. I would add stuff as well going forward. It's very good to have you guys. It's very good to have you, and I'll see you all some other time. Thanks a lot. Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. Good night, guys. And please, before we go, make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel. I know there's nothing there. I already told you guys that I actually just created the YouTube channel. But make sure you go to the YouTube channel, subscribe, and turn up your notification bell, because it's not every time that I'm going to be doing a live stream. Sometimes it might just be a normal video. It might just be a normal video, and it's going to be channeled to software engineering. It's going to be channeled to software engineering, and you need to know about it. You need to be aware. So click on it, subscribe to the channel, and make sure you turn on your bell icon so you can be notified. Thank you guys. See ya.